PlaqueBoy Max released some bullshit.
Oh,
damn.
shit.
Yo, don't start this off with hate, bro. That's
Wow.
insane.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I had to say it.
Because what PlaqueBoy Max is doing is
All right,
super
we've
innovative.
done it.
You know
Get
what
off
I'm
his
saying?
dick, bro. We talked about PlaqueBoy Max.
Nah.
What you're doing is mad cool. You took the cave and you remixed it and you're a young black kid, so you're going crazy. Shout out to you, bro. I fuck with your streams. You know what I mean? All that shit. The music was average, but it's your first tape, so that's okay. PlaqueBoy Max, prominent streamer, does the In the Booth series, has a lot of famous rappers come on his stream. This entire year, back end of last year, he's been working on his debut solo project. I think that the assumption from a lot of people was that, oh, he has all these people coming through, he makes music on stream. This is going to be a very feature-heavy album. We're probably going to get some stuff that we've heard him make on stream, all that. A couple months back, he was like, I'm not going to make any of my personal music on stream. Anything that you guys are going to hear from my tape, anything that I'm going to put out, I'm going to make by myself because I don't want the judgment of people while I'm making my art. He's like, you can't make art while a bunch of people are watching and commenting on everything. I had a lot of respect for him for that because that was the first time I was like, you as a musical artist are taking this seriously. And I want to like also, you know what I mean, I'm hating for the Kiki Keys or whatever, right? But I do have respect for him because I think anyone trying to do a creative endeavor like this, it's really hard. You deserve your credit for it, right? All that to the side, this was an 8-pack of mid, bro. And did you hear what this little nigga was talking about, bro? This is some of the craziest lyrics I've ever heard in my life, bro.
Wait, so I didn't listen to the project. Was he a vocalist on this?
He raps on every song. He's the only artist.
What?
Yeah.
There's no features?
No features.
It's just, yo, I don't know how I missed that.
Just PlaqueBoy Max. And,
Ugh.
well, no, don't say that.
Sorry.
Don't say that. Because the kid has, and that's what I'm saying too, he's released verses where I'm like, that's not bad. I don't even hate his verse on Pink Dreads. I think that fits the vibe, you know, whatever. You have like the world in your hands right now. You are the one in music right now, especially for the young niggas, right? Like you have a lot of potential. People are looking at you to like, just say something. Every song is about, she want to suck my dick, I got more money than you, 5-star. Come on, man. I just need a little bit of depth. I know you heard it. You listen to it on stream. Make sure to tap into the radio's dead streams every single Saturday, noon, PST. What are your thoughts on it?
So the reason I didn't want to go too hard on him is because he does have the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I think everything he's doing is innovative. And actually, this is a good question for you. Is there an engineer that has made like a project with other artists? Because I feel like what he's doing is like very like DJ Khaled, right? But like he's actually engineering all this music and pulling in the producers and the artists. Does anybody else do that?
What do you mean by it? I think people are getting like, so what the engineer does is just the person who records the vocals, right?
Yeah.
And what he's doing.
Exactly.
So
like,
he records
yes.
and cuts up the vocals.
Yes, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I'm saying a lot of people have started off as engineers, but they're typically producers. So if you look at like Rob Beisel, SZA's main guy, started off as an engineer. 206 Derek does all of Don Toliver shit, moves around with him, started off as an engineer.
Yeah.
Not too many of these engineers make the jump to artist.
Right, but what I'm saying is he made the Atlanta project first and he released that.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have his
But the
vocals.
Atlanta project,
one song
the
does.
Atlanta project isn't any different than the thing that he did with UK. That's not a project. Those are just the songs that he made on stream and he just put them out.
But Osei's right. I've never heard of an engineer doing that. I've heard of producers doing that.
Yeah,
I've never heard of somebody that didn't make the beat or record the vocal putting out a project.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
he did record the vocal.
I mean, perform the vocal.
Oh.
I have never heard of somebody that didn't make the beat or perform the vocal putting out a project.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like what he's doing is very innovative. Am I correct in that or no?
I think DJ Khaled's a good comp because I don't believe Khaled made one of those beats.
That's why I'm like, is it innovative if niggas have done it before, you know?
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm like, I don't think so. My inclination is to say no, but I'm trying to hesitate. I want to give him credit.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
saying.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I think that what he's doing is important because I think that when we first came on here, we're like, oh, it's cool that he's exposing a different side of the industry, people who don't get access to the studio and things like that. Now you get to really see what it's like to see your favorite artist make music. It feels like you're kind of pulling the curtain back on the creative process, which is really, really dope. But I think that in that, people have also kind of misconstrued all that Max is doing. So I think when you go to like the Atlanta thing that he put out or the UK one that he put out previously, it's like I don't love that Max is getting all the credit. I don't love that the producers aren't talked about a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what was dope about this project is I feel like a lot of the positive stuff that I am hearing is the sound design stuff, the production stuff, all of the kind of not Max related things are on point, and some of those producers are getting a little bit more shine off that, which is dope. But like Max himself before this project wasn't the most impressive to me because it kind of just felt like he was just doing The Cave with Kenny without making the beats.
Okay, so and then that's what I was trying to get to is it innovative? I think the collective answer right now is it doesn't seem like it, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So, but I think he definitely has a moment right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, do I think that releasing his own project with just his own music was a misstep? I don't think so. Because I think if you have the moment, you say, fuck it, and you just do the thing that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Do I think that the music was good? It was You know what I mean? I think he went on a 2-3 song run that I was entertained by in the middle. But I think the very beginning, it felt a little bit like Uzi-ish, you know, like he was trying to do that, but it just wasn't hitting right. And then the very end, kind of like there was a lull too. However, I'm not mad that he did this because, again, if you have the moment, you just go for it.
I love that he did it.
Now, but I'm not gonna say that it was the best music I've ever heard because that would be crazy. You know what I mean? The one song I do like on that project is "Paid For." It's kind of like a little bit like the Jerk sound mixed with like the New Orleans thing. And like, I'm like, if he keeps running in that like more like fun lane, like Pink Dreads, Paid For, I'm cool with it. I just didn't really love the concept. I don't think like lyrically he hit it for me. You know what I'm saying? But
7,
yeah,
Paid For, and Casper are all good songs.
I did like Casper too.
I think that he had to put this out. I think that was a great decision. I think that Max is going to be given a lot of grace. I think that the conversation that I've seen online around him is like, guys, this is his first project. Niggas are saying like, oh, niggas didn't care about lyrics a week ago when other niggas were dropping some bullshit. Mm-hmm. Now y'all mad about the lyricism and shit like that. So like, he's an underground nigga who's making underground music. And if you like the underground, then this was probably a decent first project for an artist in that lane. If you're not a fan of that sound, I don't think you're going to like it because it's pretty traditional, like that stuff. But what I do like, and like I think like the last thing I'll say about this is like, you can see his mind working on some of these songs. Like with Paid For, right? I've seen him be on stream and he talks about why he started to realize why Drake is such a talented artist, mm-hmm. and how he kind of is making the songs that are catering for women, and how he can like kind of do more of the melodic stuff. And then I hear that influence in like a Paid For, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you're trying to do your version of that. So I'm like, if you continue to take cues from bigger artists and are open to learning, I think you have unlimited potential because your platform's huge. Niggas want to support you. So good first step. I just have to be honest with you too, because I don't want to I feel like I don't want to pull punches anymore.
No, for sure.
If niggas drop mid, you could call it mid.
No, for sure.
That's not to say you won't get better.
But do you think?
But that shit was ass.
Do you think what PlaqueBoyMax is doing is important to hip hop?
No.
Damn.
No.
Why?
What is he doing? Why is it important?
I think he's brought some excitement back into the space, especially for the young young artists. You don't think so? Because we just said he had the moment. So yeah, now he's not exciting.
I think niggas care about it, but I don't think it's important for rap.
I think it's important, at least in the music marketing space, because I think it's like showing people how to. I think it's deconstructing the process of making a song, which we've seen. Like we talked about Kenny Beats in the Cave and how that was exciting, right? I think it's his version of it, and he's doing it, and he's showing people not only the process, but I think he's like allowing other people in, and like someone like a Nino Paid, right? Like I think someone like that. I don't know if he records on stream, but he's one of the artists who will stream and then like put out music accordingly. You know what I mean? So I think that that's important to the zeitgeist as well.
I think it's important to rap because somebody that is, and this is not a slight to Max at all, but somebody that is 10 times more talented of an artist than PlaqueBoyMax might one day find themselves on his stream and realize how easy it is to actually engineer their own music and start to make beats. It might inspire somebody to be super DIY, and I think it probably is inspiring a lot of kids to make their own music.
I agree. I think it's about the movement.
They was already doing that, bro. With Bentley, 9 out of 10 rappers I get on the phone with today, forget rappers, artists that I get on the phone with today are engineering themselves.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. I don't think he's doing anything to like change how niggas is looking at.
But you don't think him broadcasting the process is important?
I would think differently if BandLab wasn't such a big thing and such a big part of TikTok a couple of years ago. And like niggas like David blew up, you know, Steve Lacy, obviously. These are all dudes who like put out and were very front facing about how I made this music on my iPhone. Very DIY, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think that he's necessarily pushing that forward. If we want to talk like the rapper streamer association, if we really want to get into who's pushing that and being influential with that, you got to be like, that's more Aiden Ross, Kai Cenat, because they were the first people to get rappers and artists on stream consistently, showing more of their personality and things like that. And that's kind of also too where I'm at with it on the Max stuff. And like, again, I don't want to go too hard on the nigga, but like, I feel like it's bad for rap because now a lot of marketing around these people is like, oh, we'll just throw you on a PlaqueBoyMax stream. We'll throw you on a Neon stream. We'll just put you on these streams and have this awkward ass, unauthentic conversation that's like kind of just like lame.
But I do have a question because you compared PlaqueBoyMax to Kai and Aiden, right? But how are those two comparable if Max is making music and pushing music via his stream?
Because like Tory Lanez blew up, and I know it's a scary name.
I was just going to bring him up.
Tory Lanez freestyle on Aiden's stream.
An unreleased song. It was a freestyle.
Yeah. But like that was the first like, oh, you make a song on Twitch and it goes up and this is directly going to translate to people giving more of a fuck about your music and you.
Well, and taking it a step further than the freestyle, the Tory Lanez Quarantine Radio was very impactful, I think. I think if we want to look at
he was making music on stream.
Yeah, he was making music on stream, but also cutting incredible vocals, getting in the booth, like that honestly is somebody that you could point at as being more influential and doing it first and doing it at a higher level and dropping better music.
Kenny was making beats on stream.
Yeah, Kenny doesn't get enough credit. Kenny was truly, I think, the pioneer. Well, I guess he started doing it during quarantine too, pretty much.
Kenny was the first one to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Kenny is like Max's OG. And again, I think that what's dope too is like Kenny has handled this situation with such grace.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't come off bitter and old because while he could, I think that he's taking the right mentality of like, even though I don't think what Max is doing is crazy or whatever, you want to big up the kid with the moment. This is no shade to him. He took a good idea, ran with it, and has become successful.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Shout out Max.
No hate. You know, Spencer will listen next week and give us his review of it.
Well,
No.
it's not getting a listen from me.